Do you believe in ghosts? Have you always wanted to do an investigation, but you're not really sure you know how to start? Well, today we're going to talk about how to do an investigation so you can go out and investigate your home, your neighbor's home, or locate a spot in your town where you can actually take some friends and some equipment out and do an investigation. We're going to talk about this in a few steps so that you know exactly what we're looking for and what you should do and how to set up, and give you some guidelines on how to get yourself started. In a previous video, we talked about how to find a location. So I don't know if you've got one in mind now or if you need to figure out how to pick your location. The first thing that you want to do is, once you've got your location set, get as much background as you can on the location. See if you can find people that have had experiences there. You can go to your local library or history center. A lot of times people at the library know a lot about older houses, and they can tell you about the people who lived there, or if it was an office, what kind of things went on there, what the building was used for before it was somebody's house or office, and give you a good idea of what kind of background the actual building and the land has, because that has a lot to do with the activity at those locations sometimes. You can do internet research to see if you can get people that have lived there before to contact you, and just talk to the people that have lived there. Ask them what kind of activity they get, if they feel things, hear things, if they just sense things, or if they can actually see objects moving or audibly hear knocking, talking, whatever they might be experiencing. You're going to want to know as much as you can about the activity and the history so that you know how to set up for your investigation. After you've picked your location and you've done your research, the next thing you're going to do is pick your date and make your appointments so that you can go to the location and start your investigation. You want to make sure that you get there while it's still light outside, because it's very important to scout it out in the daylight. You want to walk around outside and look for any hazards that might be outside the building, and then go inside and look around the inside. Make sure that you know where any stairs are, holes, if there are things laying on the floor. You want to look for any kind of hazards that might be around so that you know what you're going to do and where you're going to walk when it's dark inside. You don't want to be tripping over stuff or falling in things and ending up getting hurt instead of having a good time. It's a good idea to make sure you know what's nearby while you're doing this, so that if there are railroads, if there's a busy street, if there's a lot of animals outside, make sure that you check for all of those as well, because anything that's going to make a lot of noise could interfere with your audio. Sometimes it is just enough so that you hear something but you don't know what it is when you're listening to your audio in review. So go through all of that, make sure that you're checking for anything that could contaminate any of your evidence and anything that's going to cause you to have to go around anything. You might even want to mark areas off while it's light outside so that you know where not to go when it's dark and you can't tell what's going on. After you've done your research on your location, before you actually go out for your investigation, you're going to want to know what type of equipment to take with you. You want to base your equipment choices on what people have said has gone on in the location. If there's a lot of physical activity, if people say that they see things moving, they're seeing shadows, they see apparitions, you're going to want to make sure that you take enough of the video equipment, cameras, still, whatever you might have, to catch all of the movement that's going to be going on. If they say they never see anything move, but they hear lots of sounds, they have things talking to them, you're going to want to take a lot of audio equipment with you. It's always a good idea to have a little bit of both, because you don't want to completely rule out something. If someone else hasn't seen it or hasn't heard it, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen while you're there. So take a little bit of both, but make sure that you've got enough equipment to cover the important things that are being reported. You're going to want to have enough where you can set things up as far as static cameras and audio recorders that are just going to be put in a spot and left there. And then your own personal things that you're going to carry around with you as you move from room to room and go outside and back inside. Once you've decided where you're going to go and you've picked your time, you want to make a meetup time, set a meetup time for whoever is going to be going to the investigation. If you don't all ride together in one car, you want to know where you're going to meet and what time you're going to meet there. Once you all get there, the important thing to do is, do your scouting out, set up all of your equipment, and then when you go dark, you want to take a few minutes to familiarize yourself with the surroundings. So don't start investigating right away. Just give yourself 15 minutes to a half an hour to walk together as a group to get the feel of the place and kind of, well, it might sound a little corny, but let it get a feeling for you too, because if there are entities there and they haven't ever experienced you before, they might not know who you are or what your intentions are. And so it's kind of letting them get familiar with you as well. You will feel more comfortable, more at ease, and you'll get better results once you've had a chance to kind of relax and get familiar with the location. It also kind of gives you a chance to listen to any outside noises. You'll become more familiar with them, trains, dogs, cars, kids outside, and that way you'll know. It'll make it easier when you're reviewing your evidence to see if it's something that maybe was from an actual person or car or what have you outside. It'll help you pinpoint what you're hearing on your audio. So, step number 5 would be actually getting ready to do your investigation after you've had a chance to get comfortable and walk around and get familiar with your surroundings. You want to decide how you're going to break up into groups if you've got a large group with you. You don't ever want to take too many people because it just overcrowds the area and you get noises coming from another part of the group if you split up. But if you take anywhere from 4 to 10 people, that's usually a pretty good number. You don't want to have your individual groups bigger than about 3 or 4. So if you do take more than 4 people, you probably want to break up into 2 or 3 groups and decide where each group is going to start and pick a room and make out a plan. This is going to be room 1, room 2, room 3, or downstairs is area 1, upstairs is area 2, however you decide to break that up. And then stay in each room for about a half an hour, from half an hour to an hour. If you're getting really, really good results in a room and something's really going, you might want to stay a little longer. So, let your other groups know, hey, we're not moving quite yet because we're really getting some activity in here and we don't want to stop it because it might just stop if we leave the room. Just kind of go with what's going on and your gut feeling, but don't just call it off right away. Give it at least a half an hour. Go ahead and pick people for each group that will have audio and video. If you've got some people in your group that are better at getting audio results and some people seem to get more personal experiences or capture more photos, you might want to try to get some of those people in each group so that the groups are all well balanced. And just go ahead and pick your groups, pick your equipment that you're going to actually take with you that's not your static equipment, and go ahead and give it a start. Start your watches, make sure everybody knows what time it is, and have fun. So our very last step is one of the most important steps. You want to make sure that you're going to keep a log of everything that's going on while you're there. You want to know what the temperature is, what the season is. You want to know if it's raining outside, if it's really windy. Every time something happens, you want to write it down because you're really not going to remember everything. You should always be tagging your audio if somebody sneezes or coughs or bumps into something. But when you're first starting out, especially because you're so excited about your investigation, you tend to have so much coming in and there's so much going on that you forget some of the stuff that happened, and you might forget to tag your audio, and then you don't really know what's going on and you think it's something paranormal and it's really not. So write yourself a little note every time something happens. Say, oh, Bob coughed, Mary ran into the ladder. Whatever is going on, you want to note all of that, and that way you can go back and look at your notes as you're listening to your audio or as you're reviewing your video to see what might have caused the sounds or the movement. Somebody can accidentally step on a cord and it'll move something 5 feet away from your camera. And if you happen to write in your notes, oh, Bob stepped on the cord, then you'll know for sure, because he might step on it and you see him step on it, but he doesn't say anything about it. And if you don't write that down later on, you're going to forget. And then when you see the shadow moving off in the corner, you're like, oh my gosh, but it's really just a piece of paper that got knocked over. Just write everything down to err on the side of caution. Make sure that you're taking notes for yourself so that you know that you've really got solid evidence, and so that you're not presenting things to the community that people are going to go, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to investigate because they just said that somebody blowing their nose was a demon coming to eat my brain. And we clearly know that it was somebody blowing their nose. Just, you know, you don't want to make yourself laughable. You want to be as real and true to yourself as possible. So help yourself out by keeping your notes, tagging your audio, and making sure that you're sure of what you're presenting before you present it. So in a future video, I'm going to tell you the 7 things never to do in an investigation. You want to make sure that you're as professional as possible so that people will actually listen to you and believe what you're saying, but for yourself, to make sure that you know that you've got the best quality evidence that you can get, you want to make sure that you never do these things, because otherwise you're going to taint your evidence and be so busy laughing at yourself, you're not going to be able to get anywhere with your evidence review anyway. In another video, I'm going to tell you about the scariest experience that I've ever had on an investigation. I've been to some of the scariest places in the United States, and I've got some good stories, so you're going to want to watch this. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you've got any questions or if you want to check us out, you can go to ghostgirlsaustin.com to watch me and my friends with our videos. We post up some little videos of our investigations. Don't forget to leave a comment, rate this video for us, and if you've got any questions, just send us a note. It's ghostgirlsaustin.com.
Please subscribe to our channel, and you should also visit our new website. Because we have over 1,300 videos on our channel, I know it can be a little difficult to navigate and find the videos that you want to see. But if you visit us at psychetruth.net, you'll be able to find the videos you want to see and watch them there. So we encourage you to go to Psychetruth next time you want to search for something, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.